On today's show, we're going to be talking about the big Silicon Valley anti-poaching lawsuit.
Which isn't about animals, by the way.
No.
We also have some big news coming out of MIT with the cryptocurrency Bitcoin and what they're doing to secure its future with MIT students.
Talk a little bit about the Twitter stock and, of course, smartwatches and the future of interactive technology. Check it out.
So you want to talk a little bit about the anti-poaching stuff going on between, Apple, Adobe,
Google.
and Intel?
So apparently they had a secret pact to not hire each other's programmers, engineers. What was it?
It goes all the way back to Steve Jobs. Yeah, engineers.
And they reached a settlement in the whole thing, but you know, whatever happened, I think I read somewhere on the internet, like, what about Google's like mantra about not being evil? And just to think that, you know, you could get a job as an engineer at Google or one of these big companies, and just because you work there, you know, none of these other companies will hire you. I mean, I don't know what kind of like, you know.
And these are the big companies out there. So if you're a top engineer, these are the guys you're wanting to work for.
Yeah, but what kind of like environment is that to work in where, you know, I mean, how can the employer treat you if they know you can't go get a job somewhere else? You know, what kind of like indentured servitude or, you know.
And being the engineer, you don't know this, you know, until finally something slips through the cracks and you find out. And obviously you're pissed. You join a pact with all of your other fellow engineers and go after these guys. $390 million between 64,000 engineers.
I think it was 324.
Yeah, I mean, that's a drop in the bucket for these guys. Poor guys, you know, so big ups to the Silicon Valley engineers out there working hard for all of our cool devices. You know, keep it up. Don't let these guys keep you down.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
Anyway, we got the people at MIT.
Yeah.
Right? So the graduating class of this year?
No, all undergraduates.
Oh.
All undergraduates, all about 4,500 of them. Two guys. One is a computer science sophomore. The other is an MBA candidate at MIT. Have pooled their resources together, have gone out and raised over $500,000, $500,000. So they're giving every undergraduate $100 in Bitcoin, the cryptocurrency that is kind of getting a lot of.
It's an unofficial digital currency.
Yeah.
Right? It's, I mean, and, you know, you're going to have to look it up on the internet. It's kind of complicated, but the exchange rate is what? For every Bitcoin, it's like $400, $500
Yeah, right
almost?
now it's about $400 a Bitcoin.
Single Bitcoin is $500.
Yeah, so if you go on anywhere and you see people accepting Bitcoin, you might buy something and you only give them the accuracy of the Bitcoin transaction, it's like, okay, this product costs you 0.0198432 Bitcoin. It's like, wow.
Pretty accurate.
Yeah, it's pretty.
but the whole point is that these Ivy League college kids, right? They want them to have real experience with cryptocurrencies coming out of college from now on, because we're going to start seeing, or what they believe, I guess they project that we're going to start seeing some more cryptocurrency transactions go on, and it's a new economy that's springing up into the world. And if they're better educated about it, then they're going to be leaders.
They got a better step forward than the rest of us.
Yeah. So each of them are going to get $100 in Bitcoin, and which, you know, we already said one Bitcoin. Oh, it's just $100, so it's like point.
Yeah, you're not even going to get a full Bitcoin, you know, at this point, unless the price drops, which, you know, it fluctuates vastly. It's a currency that is not, you know, insured or backed by any other means other than the faith of its users.
But people put money into the Bitcoin machine
Sure.
on the internet. You can put real money into it, and you get fractions of a Bitcoin, and then you can use that. Oh, yeah, but they said that they were going to start accepting Bitcoin payments across the campus, too.
Oh,
right?
yeah, next year. All on-campus merchants they're pushing to have Bitcoin acceptance amongst all of the merchants there at MIT, which which is pretty sweet. Especially we covered it last episode, the Bitcoin debit card. So it's going to make it that much easier to get your hands on some Bitcoin. Used to go through these Bitcoin exchanges, kind of shady, kind of gray market type of stuff, and you never felt real secure. This kind of gives a little bit more legitimacy.
It's going to feel more like a PayPal of digital currencies.
Yeah, but you're not going to have a name on it. You're going to have a cool crypto name. So, I'll be, Super Mario or something.
Yeah.
I don't have to be Buster or Max or anything. It's just,
so,
good old anonymous online transaction.
Yeah.
Finally get that life-size Antonio Banderas inflatable blow-up doll. So.
I know they only sell it on Tor networks.
Yeah.
Anyway, so if you want to leg up, go get yourself some Bitcoin because they're already going to be working with it.
Yeah.
Now, one of the things that everybody's talking about on the internet is the Twitter stock plummet.
Oh.
I think their stock fell 10%, but it just seems to me like it's just so much hoopla about, it wasn't because their revenues didn't reach the projections. It was because what they're saying and what all the articles say, and it's on every tech blog, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that it's because their user growth didn't reach the projected amount. So they're not like gaining users at, I guess they expect them to perpetually gain an ever increasing amount of users forever to infinity. And so those numbers didn't reach the projected, what they hoped that they would get. And
the pool's only so large.
It's
not, you're 13, you're going to be 14 next year. Guess what? You get a Twitter account.
Yeah.
It's not going to be like that. So.
And what I saw online is that there was a couple things that they were trying to say about Twitter, whether it's not growing as much anymore, or whether it's just a niche social network.
I feel that they just have a hard time monetizing it. You see a lot of breaking news. Maybe it's not 100% accurate. Celebrities. True. Twitter gets a lot of play in the social media.
Well, that's probably the bottom line, is because there could have been another headline that said, Twitter's revenue growths outshine sluggish user projections.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But that didn't happen. So that just means that what they're doing to monetize Twitter, wasn't enough to make their shareholders happy. They found that lack in user growth, and that gave them something to grump-a-lump about. So they,
if you look at the chart, they've lost 50% of their their original starting IPO price. So.
That's true.
Poor guys. But
I know, but really, it's like a social network. Can't we be? We're so sorry that they haven't found a way to make enough money off of it. But when you look at Twitter, it's one of the, it's almost like a lower form of communication. You know what I mean? People tweet feelings. People tweet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But at the same time, you're trying to have big companies piggyback off of that and vie for your attention in order to make cash. And it doesn't really mean anything to the people that use Twitter.
Yeah.
If they haven't found a way to make
monetize
enough money
exactly.
off of it. I guess
agree.
Twitter could go away. Anyway.
It's a great thing. I like Twitter.
Yeah.
But as soon as the big companies come on and they have an agenda and they want to make some money, it crashes the system. It's not always about making money. Sometimes it's about the community. You got to get out there and interact with each other. And I think that's what the internet and social media brings to the table. And so stay out of it. Big companies, trying to make a buck off of our Twitter feeds.
I know.
That's a bunch of BS.
All right, and
fail whale.
Yeah, the last thing here is the we saw some headlines about smartwatches. All these wearables are coming out. Google is coming out with their Google Gear, right? Which is like a whole new division of Google dedicated to the wearable devices and the smartwatches. But what Max and I were talking about is how people are interacting with this device. Because, one of the things that they tried to do with Google Glass was get people away from the screen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Always being buried in their screen or their watch, and that's one of the big parts of the Google Glass ad campaigns. I remember seeing the ad where everybody's buried in their phones and there's the people with the Google Glass at a party. Like
we're enjoying the party and life. We're not stuck on our device.
Yeah. But they're coming out with all these wearables, and one of the big trends I feel like we're both seeing is the talking to the devices. And
I love it.
I know, I do too. Now, Max and I have been early adopters, right, of this technology for a long time.
I might pick up Glass, dude. You might see me in here in a month wearing some Google Glass.
Really?
Maybe.
But we had this voice technology. We've been talking to our TVs or our Netflix, right?
Yeah. Xboxes.
Yeah.
Primarily.
With the original Kinect, when did that come out? Like 5 years ago?
Let's give it, say half a decade, 5 years.
And that was the introduction to this voice technology for me. I mean, yeah, there was Siri, but no one really uses Siri. It's hard to.
I want to say that I remember Siri slightly sucking when it first came out. Maybe similar to, what was it, Apple Maps.
Yeah, well, Siri, now they got Cortana, or what is it?
That's Microsoft, buddy.
What's her name? Now we got Cortana coming out.
I can't wait till Cortana is my co-pilot in my car. That's going to be sweet.
That's coming out, and then, so we're all talking to our Xbox, Max and I on the Xbox One, and let me tell you, you can walk into your living room and say Xbox One on, right? And it turns on your TV, your stereo, and the Xbox, all in harmony. And it's a really cool feature.
Yeah.
And, we can flip around Netflix, Hulu, stuff like that. So we've been talking to our Xboxes. Now we're going to be able to talk to our Google devices, right? They introduced us to Siri, and now Cortana's coming out.
Amazon's got their new device.
Amazon Fire. You're talking to that remote now, and that's a big part of their ad campaign, right?
Yeah, they got the Amazon Fire TV. Amazon's also, they pulled it from their job listings, but they're hiring a CPU architect who they want to develop these low-cost, processors for their cloud-based servers and stuff. And if they are able to do this, Amazon's going to be a big game player probably in the next decade or two. Google.
Well, Amazon is one of those companies I feel like, that's kind of behind the scenes. Amazon's a huge marketplace, but they have this Amazon CloudFront kind of storage architecture where developers can go on.
That's what I'm trying to say there. It's like they're a little hidden. And I think Google and Microsoft, they know this. I think consumers don't see it so much, but Amazon's going to jump out of the water at some point and surprise us all.
Amazon is far more big data than most people realize.
Yeah.
Most people think of like Amazon.com, right? A to Z, you can buy all kinds of
stuff.
stuff.
Yeah, buy something, deliver it to my door.
Yeah. Amazon's much deeper into the internet.
I use Amazon Prime instant streaming, so they also have a video streaming service.
Yeah, that's right. They're doing all kinds
dipped
of stuff.
into all.
You got to watch them. But part of that whole thing is, Amazon's doing the Amazon Prime where you can talk to their remote, which is a big part of their ad campaigns. I think that we can start to see that voice technology is really going to be the future of a lot more of these gadgets coming up. And, whether it's like, smart appliances that you can talk to, whether it's your home listening, being able to control the temperature, like I can control my television, my stereo, and my Xbox just by talking to it. I think, once you break that barrier and remember, oh yeah, I can talk to these devices, and I can just say normal things, and they'll understand me. I think that that's going to be one of the big shifts we start to see in technology, right, coming up in the next 5 years here.
Then you might actually have those weirdos having relationships with their toaster and their refrigerator. I have not either.
We should watch that.
I don't even know what it's called. Transcendence?
It's not that. That's the Johnny Depp one.
Oh, I love Johnny Depp.
Me too. Oh, he's dreamy. Anyway, no, but there was one where somebody fell in love. Was it like Joaquin Phoenix?
Yeah, with his phone.
Was it him?
Nah, you got me, buddy.
It was him, or?
It seems like a newfound version of The Notebook. I think that was about a man who fell in love with his personal analog assistant, his notebook.
Yeah, that's what that.
Oh, did you catch SNL this past weekend?
Yeah,
the sketches.
All the rerun sketches. Yeah.
Oh, there's the one. Did you see the one with that new guy who's like, "Vote for me for your class president"?
That's another one. Yeah.
That's my favorite.
Anyway, okay, we're rambling on. Hey, thanks for watching.
Hey, ramble
shoot us
on.
an email.
Led Zeppelin.
Yeah.
Peace.